For the last 5 years, I have taught a leadership course for law students, graduates, faculty, and staff at my school, and anyone else who'd like to show up and participate. It's a course in how to learn and practice leadership. It is not primarily a course in studying leadership. Despite calling it a course, I emphasize that this is a bottom-up initiative. I teach a structured experience. My law school does not offer a course. My law school does not teach leadership. I don't get teaching credit. My students don't get academic credit. I am a volunteer. My students, about a dozen of them per year, are also volunteers. Anyone can volunteer. Leadership is not role. Deans and chairs and managing partners are not necessarily leaders. Leadership and leaders can thrive throughout professional, volunteer, social, and family life without having an office or a title. Leadership is who you are, not what you are. If status doesn't matter, what does? I begin with teaching about voice, developing the skill of identifying who you are and how you operate in the world, your goals, skills, experiences, resources, and limitations. It involves learning about self-awareness, vulnerability, emotional intelligence. Voice goes with vision. Teaching leadership means teaching how to build a vision for yourself and for others. The key phrase is find your voice and help others to find theirs. That starts with developing a vision for yourself in the world and a vision for your journey. It extends to how you find others and include them in your vision and help them to build theirs. Teaching vision goes with teaching values. Values come from somewhere. Experiences inform values, values inform experiences. One needs to learn how to identify values, build on them, reflect on them, and rely on them. What does it mean to be great in the world? What does it mean to be great for the world? That's a lot to learn. I can only introduce my students to the concepts. These conversations are awkward, they are stilted. I am trying to get my students motivated to pursue a continued exploration, a path to leadership where the outcome is, at its best, a calling, where leadership is in effect involuntary. My path to leadership did not start in law. I tell my students there is no single best right path to leadership. It taught me that leading is learning, it's process, it's continuous. Leading is not the output, leading is the input. The output is how we change people's lives, one at a time or as a group. Keeping outputs top of mind as the why of leadership is a way of seeing that students can connect their own interior experience with what they experience out in the world, that they can integrate their education and professional training with what they experience outside. None of this originates with me. You'll see it reflected in the leadership studies literature, but leadership is practice. It is not ideology or philosophy. Some of the best literature on leadership comes out of the military service, where the phrase leaders eat last is meaningful not only as a metaphor, it's also meaningful literally. Not only is leadership not role-based, it's not personality-based. The point is that anyone can learn this. It's a set of skills. They can be taught, they can be learned. But teaching and learning in the classroom will only take you so far. With my students, I emphasize practice, practice, and practice. And not only practice looking forward, but also practice looking backwards. Students come into my classes believing that they've never had leadership experience or leadership practice, and I work with them to show that that's often not true, that simply means reframing the experiences that they've always had. No matter what its source, I sometimes describe leadership as a contact sport. Leaders sweat. That's a metaphor. To borrow a line from an old advertising campaign, real leaders change the world the old-fashioned way. They earn it. They get their hands dirty. They don't just eat last, they also eat the same stuff. I want to be sure that each student finds their own voice and their own path. The point is not to follow my path or to adopt my voice. This is personal. I encourage them to engage in a lot of structured self-reflection. We have film clips, we have readings. We use readings by Frances Hesselbein, Tom Kolditz, Jim Collins. Note that these are not lawyers. I haven't said a lot about law or the legal profession. In my view, this is purposeful. There's nothing unique about this whole conversation that's grounded in law or the legal profession. It's applicable throughout all of our lives. If you're intrigued by this, I'm happy to share more details. I've written up a fairly elaborate summary of the entire course. It's in the Tennessee Law Review. It's on SSRN. My course outline is online. I'm happy to talk about it in more detail. Please get in touch with me. Please spread the word. The last thing I'll close with is this. One of the videos I share with my students is from a guy named DeWitt Jones, who was a National Geographic photographer, now a motivational speaker. He has a slogan that I love because it so captures what I try to do. The slogan is, celebrate what's right with the world. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. I would be happy to do that. Thank you.